You say the work he did was shoddy.
I take extreme pride in my work.
This doesn't look fine.
A painter can't brush off the problems.
These are buckled. This is messy. Messy.
And a homeowner doesn't paint a pretty picture.
Do you think he purposely did something wrong to one side of the house?
Yes, ma'am. When I called him back, I just got nasty text messages.
This is Judge Judy.
Mr. and Mrs. Whitford, you hired the defendant to paint your house with 2 coats of paint, and I assume your house has 2 levels.
Correct.
And the price that he quoted you was $2,275, which you paid him.
Correct.
And now you're suing him for $5,000 because you say the work he did was shoddy.
Correct.
Not happening. Okay. I'd like to see pictures of the house before. Oh, by the way, I'm going to get to your counterclaim. You had a contract with them to do the house for $2,275?
Correct, Your Honor.
And your counterclaim is for extra work that you did?
Correct, Your Honor.
Did you have a contract with them to pay you for the extra work?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Your counterclaim's dismissed. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. It takes care of your counterclaim. Picture of the house before he did the paint job and picture of the house after he finished the paint job.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This is after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's before.
Original before. Well, this looks pretty good, but the thing that I'm not seeing is, are you alleging that his paint job caused
Yes,
these
ma'am.
to buckle?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
These are after. I'm sorry.
There wasn't a request for pictures. The paint job looks absolutely fine, Mr. Reese,
Thank you, Your Honor.
based upon what I'm shown in the pictures. This doesn't look fine.
Yes, ma'am.
These, whatever these are
The
they?
vinyl siding planks.
So these are vinyl strips.
Correct, ma'am.
Well, these vinyl strips, unless I'm looking at them through a particular angle, do not show that they are buckled. And these are buckled. How did that happen?
Through storms that we had, I mean, paint's not going to buckle vinyl siding. It
Well-
doesn't weigh anything to buckle the siding.
This is what the vinyl siding looked like before,
Yes, ma'am.
and after you finished with it, it looked like this.
A year later, it did look like that. It's Florida. We've had plenty of storms.
Okay.
Go ahead,
So
yes, ma'am.
you're talking about a year later. When was this paint job accomplished?
It was completed on August 23rd of 2018.
Well, that's a year later. How long has this vinyl siding been up?
Your Honor, it was completed. The first time was the 21st. The second time was the 29th, where Mr. Reese put excessive paint on the siding.
Well, I don't know that, and you don't know that, madam, because you're not an expert in paint. I've asked you a question. How old was this siding?
Immediately after the paint job, Your Honor.
How old was the siding?
The house,
12 years
the house
old.
is 12 years old.
How long have you lived in it?
12 years.
And have you, in those 12 years, ever had the siding painted?
Yes, Your Honor.
By whom?
We had the house painted roughly 3 years before Mr. Reese painted.
Okay. Are you telling me that 3 years ago, when you had the house painted, you had it painted the same color?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Because vinyl siding usually doesn't have to be painted.
Your Honor, it does not have to be painted.
Just a second.
However,
Vinyl siding usually is not painted because vinyl, my memory of vinyl siding is, that's different from other kinds of siding that may chip, but whatever. Vinyl siding doesn't chip.
Correct.
It may peel away, but it doesn't chip. So why did you want it painted?
other homes in the area had had their vinyl siding painted, and it looked absolutely beautiful.
Well, yours didn't.
Well, it was supposed to.
Well, but it didn't. And I don't know whether it didn't because of anything that he did. Did you tell him you wanted the vinyl siding painted the same color of the house?
Yes.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Whitford, quite frankly, I think that this is terrible, but I cannot ascribe this to a paint job unless you have an expert that can say, but for bad paint job that he did, this would not have buckled. It's possible that the vinyl that you had on the side of, there are all kinds of possibilities. It's possible that the vinyl siding you had on the side of your house was the sort that you're not supposed to paint, that if you paint, it shrinks. Anything is possible. Without an expert, I can't tell.